a look at the problems facing Peter Eustace at Hillsborough. The Sheffield Wednesday manager joins us to discuss their slump. Also in trouble, Rangers goalkeeper Chris Woods. He hasn't played for 2 months and illness will keep him out for a long time yet. We've action from last night's match at Colchester, where former Rangers man Jock Wallace was returning to management in Britain. And this week's Nostalgia slot features a trip being made by a Great Britain team of golden oldies. They're off to a tournament in Brazil.
Aye, well,
good afternoon. Seems like a good trip, James.
It sounds like a very good trip. The plane will be stopping off at the Essential Islands, not to take on fuel, but to take on booze with that lot.
I would think so. Listen, before we move on, Jim, we've got to say well done, John McCririck, for that tip. There must have been millions of punters put money on that
I
last
could
week.
have tipped that. 5-2 on. What? Come on, McCririck. Come up with a 10-1er and then we'll say well done. OK, right, before we start, Jim, matches off, would you believe, in Scotland today. Scottish Division 1, the matches at Clyde and Clydebank, and 2 off in the Scottish Cup at Dumbarton and Stenhousemuir. Well, we start today with a look at the game taking place at Hillsborough between Sheffield Wednesday and Liverpool this afternoon. Wednesday have been going through a lousy spell. Indeed, they've only won 1 of their 12 league matches since Peter Eustace was confirmed in the job. He succeeded Howard Wilkinson, who left the club for Leeds in October. Wilkinson felt Wednesday had developed as far as possible under his control. Goal scoring has been a problem for them this season. Indeed, Mel Sterland is their leading scorer, and Sterland is also upset having lost the team captaincy. Gary Megson has left the club. He moved to Manchester City last week for £250,000, saying it's no secret that the manager and I don't get on. Well, Wednesday's last home league game ended in a 3-0 defeat by Nottingham Forest. And Greavsie, they are leaking goals very badly at the moment. They are indeed. It was a convincing win by Forest, wasn't it, there? Tommy Gaynor scoring the first goal. But mind you, Forest are a good side, but nevertheless, it was always hard, wasn't it, to go to Sheffield or play against Sheffield when they came to you, because you knew you were in for a game. But it looks, with Coventry scoring 5 against them last week and this 3-0 defeat, that they're easy meat now, and something's gone badly wrong there, Ian.
That's right. Well, this week, Peter Eustace has dipped into the transfer market, signing Watford's Wolf Rostron on a free transfer. And there are hopes that Wednesday will be able to complete the signing of Chelsea's 24-year-old defender Darren Wood on Monday. And now we can call in Peter Eustace at Hillsborough to discuss the problems facing the club at present. And Peter, things haven't been going too well of late, have they?
No, you're right, Ian. That's been down to a combination of 1 or 2 things. It's not what you hear in the paper or read in the paper.
But you have blamed yourself in the papers, I noticed.
Yes, I did at one time for one decision.
What was that?
I played a young fella against Webb when we played against Nottingham Forest, young Tony Gregory, and I think it might have been on the day a little bit too much to ask of the fella.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, Pete, you've got old Wilf Rostron up there on a free, and with great respect to Wilf, who was a great player, do you think that's going to solve your problems?
Jim, how are you? All right?
I'm well, mate.
Yeah,
how are you?
I'm all right.
It's a long time no see since we kicked a ball together, isn't it?
I've been thinking about all those little things this morning.
Yeah.
And it's I've had a little smile on my face. People have been saying what you're laughing at. And I've been saying I've just been thinking about Greavsie, so... So I've had a nice, pleasant morning.
We've had a few good times together. But what about Wilf Rostron? Do you think he's going to...
Wilfie Rostron was forced on me, really, Jim, because, as you know, we've lost Nigel Worthington. And because of necessity, I had to go out and buy what you might call an experienced left-back. Yeah. And I've got no problems with Wilfie. I've seen him in the last couple of days in training, and he'll be OK. With all his experience, he'll be able to pass on to the younger players. I've got no problems with
Looking at it long-term, Pete, and, you know, you're the manager there, have you got a lot of bread to play with up there, to buy players with?
A lot of what?
Bread, money?
Oh, you call it money up here, Jim? Yes, I've got some money, yes.
Have you?
Yes.
And
not as much as you.
I'll tell you what, you have. You do. You want to work for this mob. Have you got anybody in mind who you're going to buy?
Yes, I have.
Have you?
Yes.
But you're not going to tell us, are you?
No, I'm not going to tell you, no.
What's the situation with Mel Sterland, Peter? Does he have the captaincy now?
No, he doesn't, no.
I mean, why did you take...
We've sorted that problem out, Ian.
Uh-huh. I mean, for what reasons? I mean, he looked to me,
well,
he looked to me to be a very good captain.
Yes, when he was playing at full-back, he did exceptionally well for us as a captain. But we did move him up front, as you know, for 5 or 6 games, and he went and scored some valuable goals for us. But at that same time, I thought that he couldn't maybe combine both the jobs, being the captain and being a centre forward. So I gave the job to Nigel Pearson.
Yes.
And when he reverted back, 1 or 2 circumstances made it very, very difficult for me to give him the job back. So I had to persevere with Nigel Pearson, and he's done a very, very good job for us.
Just briefly, Pete, Sheffield Wednesday were always a hard side to beat. You're confident you can turn that round again?
Yes, I'm certain of it, Jim.
You're
absolutely certain of it, yes.
Starting this afternoon, Peter?
It would be very, very nice, yes. OK.
Thanks for joining us, Pete. Nice to see you again,
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.
Right, well, now to the big game in Scotland today, where leaders Rangers take on third-placed Aberdeen, who trail them by just 3 points. The Dons are defending the Premier Division's only unbeaten home record, and last time Rangers went to Pittodrie, Ian Durrant suffered a broken leg, and the referee's door was damaged by Terry Butcher. We're looking at the prospects for today's game and talking to another Rangers player likely to be out for a while is our reporter, Jim White.
Well, in Scotland, it certainly hasn't been a good week for Premier League leaders Rangers. Following their 4-1 win over their Old Firm rivals Celtic, they went to Motherwell last Saturday with the sensible money going on Graham Souness's men. But they were in for a shock.
The pass forcing Stevens to stop his run. Brinkle comes in. Kevin Brinkle, the Rangers. But Motherwell certainly don't lack fighting spirit, that's for sure. Here's Paul Kinnaird. And there's a chance for Motherwell. Fraser Bishop. And they have a free kick right in the corner of the box, taken by Kinnaird. And there's an own goal. It is Richard Goff who's given Motherwell the lead.
Defeat then for Rangers, who were without Chris Woods last week. In fact, the England international keeper has been absent from the Ibrox side since mid-November. It was then he first experienced problems with his balance and vision, a condition which has since been diagnosed as viral labyrinthitis.
The first I noticed of it was I just leant over the side of the chair in the house, and when I picked my head up there was a peculiar spinning, and I don't know, I just thought it was one of those things that was just going to come and go, and gradually it just got worse from there. You know, I sort of went to bed that night and I couldn't sleep. Every time I turned over, it would wake me up, and I couldn't even get up the next day.
Even if you were to shake your head just now, would you still endure the symptoms?
Yes, yeah. I mean, as soon as I move quick, it's still there, so I try and walk very steady and in a straight line.
Do you have any idea when you might make a return?
Not really. Well, I'd like to think within the next 3 or 4 weeks that I'm going to be able to, get back in full training and go from there, really. But like I say, it's just a question of probably waking up one day and it's gone.
How frustrating is it, Chris? Because obviously you very much want to be part of Graham Souness's plans here at Ibrox and Bobby Robson's England plans.
Well, that's right. I mean, at the moment I'm just sort of being kicked out of the house because I'm getting on the wife's nerves. But I come here and I can't do anything. I sort of try and have a little run around and get a bit of a sweat on, but I'll probably end up running on the wrong pitch.
What would you say to Bobby Robson? Hopefully you won't be out too long, yet you just don't know.
No, that's right. I just got to wait and see how it goes. As soon as I can possibly start training and playing again, I'll do it as quick as I can.
It seems it's been a bit of a nightmare, Chris, and it's still going on.
Yes, yeah. It's actually, I've been looking back on it, and I think it's the longest that I've ever been out of football. And that includes like when you first started, and like you had about 8-9 weeks off, in the closed season. So I don't know. It'll end somewhere, I hope.
Well, you're talking a big problem there, Jim, really, aren't you? Because he's saying he doesn't know how long the whole thing will last.
It's not very funny, is it?
Not at all.
It's very serious. It's a tragedy as far as he's concerned. I mean, I always thought that most Scottish goalkeepers suffered from balance and vision, but one really can't joke about this because it is a very serious thing. It's a tragedy. Nobody seems to know what the answer is, do they?
Well, what about Rangers playing Aberdeen today, Jim? The last time they played, Richard Goff scored, but this time it was at the right end of the ground.
That's right, he did indeed, didn't he? He hammers this one in, but I don't think that was as spectacular as his diving header at the other end against Motherwell. So I don't know why he did that, really, but there you are.
Best result of the season so far, Jim, that Motherwell result.
Motherwell, yeah.
Now, ex-Rangers manager Jock Wallace made a sudden return to English football this week when he took over the 92nd club in the Football League, Colchester United. St Greavsie cameras were at Lair Road to record the occasion, and so too was our reporter, Martin Tyler. Now, Jock's been out of the game for 18 months, and Martin wondered, you know, how he could explain Colchester's good run and poor league form.
I couldn't answer that, but I'll soon let you know in about a month. If they don't win a couple of league games, I'll find a sand dune somewhere and murder them.
I think a lot of people will say, after all you've done in the game, do you need to come to a club that's 92nd in the Football League?
It's the strongest club in the league, don't forget, holding everybody else up. No, but it's a disease you've got called football, and I suffer very badly from it, and I just can't stay away from the game.
McCarrick, steal. Martindale did well to win it, wants it back from Muir. And Ian Muir could be in here. The striker with 18 goals already this season. Walsh, he's round Nixon. Mario Walsh has put Colchester in front. And the team that's gone 14 league games without a win strikes the first blow, and Mario Walsh is having a good run at the moment. 1-0, 16 minutes gone. Barnett. English. Allinson turns away from Mungall. Tempest going to the far post. Walsh is in the centre, 2-0! Super goal! And it was always on from the moment that Allinson got the better of Mungall. He had two to aim for in the middle. Tempest went to the far side, and Walsh was able to come in and snap up the chance at the near post. Muir. That's good play. And it's Walsh who clears. McCarrick, 2-1. So Tranmere still very much in it. And Mario Walsh, who'd got the 2 goals for Colchester, was back defending. His header didn't quite clear Colchester's lines decisively. The ball reached McCarrick and his shot was angled perfectly into the far corner. They've conceded a free kick in a very dangerous position. Now, a lot of Colchester's good work in this match could be ruined here. Harvey, it's a peach. 2-2. Jimmy Harvey, that really is his trademark, and he's stamped it on this fixture. A lovely free kick over the wall and beyond Mark Walton. And Colchester, the bottom club, have lost a 2-goal